Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. So friends, on a Saturday, we will be having our discussion on Saturn's transition in the Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra. So friends, that is going to be one of the defining theme for this year 2026. We know that Saturn, which is a planet of giving us karmic rewards, anything to do with our career advancement, and in certain cases, punishment, imprisonment, all of that is somehow governed and controlled by the planet Saturn. And just because friends, Saturn is going to be transiting in the Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra on January 19th. So that means it will accelerate the prospects of the karmic rewards. For certain people, this could be the karmic punishment as well. For certain people, this could be the time of sowing seeds for long-term stability, which you have been long eyeing for. And this is also going to be the time of the spiritual or the self-realization as well. So friends, if I were to even talk about the dates as well, so from January 19th till May 17th, like Saturn is going to be transiting in the Pisces sign in its own nakshatra, Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra, which is also connected with the latter lucky feet, something for which you have been consistently working hard. You did not get the success in the very first attempt. So this could be the time for you. So from January 19th till May 17th, Saturn is going to be transiting in its own Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra. On May 17th, Saturn will briefly move to the Revati Nakshatra, and finally on October 9th, Saturn will again enter back in the Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra. So friends, this is a very important transit which is important for everyone, and especially like if you are in the Saturn Dasha or Saturn is transiting in certain houses. Like for example, we know that the 3rd house transit, 6th house, 11th house is considered as good. But let's say for example, even if Saturn is like transiting in the houses which has facilitated or initiated the Sade Sati for you, so then also Saturn being in such a potent state will have certain impact in your life. So how it is going to be impacting you friends? Now we will switch to our discussion on that. Watch this video both from your ascendant and the moon sign, and I will also try to explain it not only from the house-wise placement but also on the basis of the Navtara as well. So you have to understand this video both from your ascendant, because that is going to have a realistic practical impact in your life, from the moon sign, because the karmic and the fated events happen from the moon sign, and also from the moon nakshatra as well, because then you get to know that this purest state of the Saturn is going to be working in cahoots in your favor, or is it going to be bringing some harsh lesson for you so that you could be well prepared, well planned. So okay friends, now after this we will shift our discussion to the narration of this very important transit of the planet Saturn, the defining transit of the year 2026. So friends, as explained by me in the introduction, like when Saturn on January 19th will transition from Purva Bhadrapada to the Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra, which Saturn in itself owns this nakshatra. That means there is going to be a purity in the functioning of the Saturnian energy. Now whether this purity will work in your favor or it will work against you, that is a section which once we will start discussing individual zodiac signs, then we will have our discussion on that. But you will definitely see transition in this way, because all the Purva series of nakshatra, you will see and you will find that aggression, that intensity, forcefulness over there. But if you will compare the same with the Uttara nakshatras, like this could be Uttara Bhadrapada as well, you will find lot of the Dhruva, like a stability and the fixity in the functioning of the Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra energies. Like the way it has been said that Purva Bhadrapada can be attached with the rebellion, but Uttara Bhadrapada can be attached with the responsibility. Like this is a transition from spiritual urgency to the spiritual maturity. What one awakens, the other sustains. Now also friends, because I also gave attention to the global and the mundane assessment as well. So even if you will look at the Kurma Chakra, as per the Kurma Chakra, like this Uttara Bhadrapada, Pur Bhadrapada, most of these like nakshatra energies in the Kurma Chakra falls in the north direction. So even in the global north, if I were to say, like countries that lie purely in the north, like for example, this could be Russia, like the northernmost large landmass on the earth. This could be slightly Canada as well, because large portion lie close to the Arctic Circle. You can take into consideration Norway, Iceland. So in all these countries, specifically, there is a high potential possibility of expecting some sort of stability. Like whatever is happening right now, even in the Russia, in the Ukraine kind of situation, there is going to be slight possibility that it could end this long standing karmic debt between these countries. Because I have been lately listening to many other astrologers. Some of them, they just stick to whatever is happening in the news, and based on that they move things, they kind of mold their analysis. But I'm just purely giving attention to the Kurma Chakra, and with Saturn, when it transit in the Uttara Bhadrapada, this is generally seen as a kind of a stable kind of thing. See, like generally what has been seen, like Saturn's transit in the Uttara Bhadrapada, and if I were to talk about its global and the mundane impact. So this, from the politics and the governance point of view, it talks about when leaders can step down because of the health, age, or moral exhaustion related issue. We all know that even in the case of the Donald Trump, like the time when he took the oath in January of this year 2025, it was not a very supportive kind of muhurat. Like Ketu was very prominent that time. So, and when we talk about world economy, so this also tells about end of the speculative bubbles, and it also talks about consolidation of the unsustainable debt structure. And I'm very much hopeful, like the way the Trump's tariff and all those policies have created that kind of instability in the globe this year. And with this transition of Saturn in the Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra, some sustainable positive movement of the planet Jupiter, Rahu being strengthened, this is going to be a year where you will not see those kind of sudden unexpected kind of policies which will get implemented. Along with that, friends, when we talk about from the climate, water and the earth point of view, so yes, because when it comes down to the Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra's Devata or the god, so that is the Ahir Budhyana. Now friends, you have to understand, because Ahir Budhyana has been explained as the serpent god. Now here we are not talking about the serpent which could be connected with the Ashlesha Nakshatra, and here we are not even talking about the ocean and the connected Devata which could be Varuna. I mean to say, when we talk about the Ahir Budhyana, so unlike the serpent deities associated with nakshatras like Ashlesha, Ahir Budhyana represents the depths of the unknown. He is the dragon serpent that resides in the celestial or primordial water, the bottom of the ocean of existence. So because of which this gives this nakshatra quality of the immense stillness and the hidden power. So the point, friends, which I was trying to make over here is that it is not a very supportive kind of energy when we talk about the water related crisis like flood, ocean related concerns and all. That there is going to be slight vulnerability over there. But at the same time, there might be a renewed focus on the water conservation laws, high possibility of that. And if I were to talk about from the spiritual potential point of view, this is going to be a very, very supportive kind of transit. Like even the last time, friends, when it happened, like for example, last time Saturn was in the Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra, in the year 1996 to 1998, and one of the notable global event of that time was global push for spirituality, like rise of yoga, reiki and the vipassana worldwide. So I mean to say something like that. There will be increase in the renunciation, minimalism, therapy, meditation, solitude, and there will be a collapse of the fake spirituality. So yes friends, that is what I wanted to say. So unlike Pur Bhadrapada, where Saturn was transiting before, which burns, Uttara Bhadrapada buries, it seals, and it sanctifies. Saturn here forces emotional maturity, it ends long standing karmic debts, rewards spiritual discipline, and pushes emotional denial and escapism. So, this is a moksha oriented Saturn, it's not a material Saturn. So, yes, friends, now after this, let's briefly look at all the zodiac signs. Like the way I always say, like when it comes down to the planet Saturn, you have to study it, observe it both from your ascendant and from the moon sign. Along with that, after explaining it from all the 12 zodiac signs, I will also give you a brief explanation of based on the Navtara concept as well, which you have to follow from your Janam Tara, from your moon nakshatra. But first, let's have our discussion on the 12 zodiac signs. Now friends, let's say for example, if you are a Aries, like you are a Aries moon or you are a Aries ascendant, so that means Saturn, which is already transiting in your, like Saturn is already transiting in your 12th house, and over and above that, now Saturn is going to be entering in this Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra. So friends, when we talk about the role which Saturn plays for you, so Saturn is your like 10th lord, Saturn is your 11th lord. So that means if in any capacity you have been trying for any overseas kind of opportunities, this is going to be a very good time for you. If you are actually trying to make peace with any of those issues where you have lost someone or you have had some losses, expenses, any of the death in the family, and you're grieving, you are recuperating, you are recovering from those heavy expensive losses, because I'm sure that before that Saturn in itself was in the Pur Bhadrapada Nakshatra. It would have given you some sleepless nights, work might have kept you busy. So now it is going to be much more stabilizing kind of energy in your 12th house. If in any capacity you are connected with, like if you are connected with spirituality, meditation and all, so this could be a very good time of some spiritual awakening, like high level of realization can happen during this time. So friends, for the Aries natives, the theme is about subconscious cleansing and karmic closure. So high possibility that whatever like issues you have been dealing with, if it involves any lawsuit like imprisonment, law related problem, any bad debt, any foreign settlement related concerns, so there is going to be a clarity, a new chapter will begin, like the old issues will be resolved and some new chapter, new beginning can happen during this time. And again friends, I always say any connection of Saturn with the 12th house, like donation, charity, surrender, becomes very important. So in your case, for the Aries people, especially for the Aries ascendant, so old fears resurface to be healed. There is going to be concerns around the sleep, but I'm sure that it is going to get much better compared to the way it was in the whole 2025. The state of your sleep is going to be much better in this year. Regarding the mental health friends, so we know that Rahu is already transiting in the Satbhisha, the nakshatra of the physician, of the healers. So there is going to be that calmness in the mental health related concerns. At least you will be able to find a clarity, solace in something which is going to be giving you the kind of peace and the tranquility you have been looking for. For certain people, this could be a new form of like alternative therapy. For some people, this could be becoming a part of the cult, becoming a part of a meditation group, becoming a part of a retreat. So whatever is good for your mental health, those things will reach you, or those things are going to be accessible to you. And yes, there is going to be some isolation theme, but again friends, this isolation is different. This isolation has got huge spiritual positive potential attached with it. It is not like something where we say aimless wandering. this isolation has got some deeper meaning and growth potential attached to you. And also, I would say that let go of the invisible enemies and the self-sabotaging behavior. And when Saturn is there in your 12th house in a purest of the essence, so that means spiritual discipline will become mandatory. So friends, most of the things which I have explained over here will get applicable for the Aries ascendant. Now when we talk about the Aries moon, because friends, in your case this is the first phase of Sade Sati, so then for the Aries moon people, all what I can say is that a lot is dependent on your running dasha, because if your running dasha is also like indicating some delays, setbacks, entanglement with the law and the law enforcement authorities, then this could be a troublesome time for you, because we know that Saturn in its purest essence in your 12th house from the moon sign, first phase of the Sadasati, then that means surrender, spirituality, donation, charity, fasting, all of that will become very, very important for you. So okay friends, now we will move forward. Now when we talk about the Taurus Lagna natives, so friends, for the Taurus Lagna natives, like Saturn is a very important planet for you. It is a Yogacara planet for you. It is transiting in your 11th house. So that means Saturn is going to be paving path towards encouraging you to sow seeds of some long-term development, growth and investments. So now friends, now what is going to be happening right now for you is that, because this is going to be a theme of karmic audit of friendship and ambition. So because there could be a case that when Saturn in the 2025 was in the Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra, so some of your friends, people in your network circle would have shown you those kind of dreams, or like they might have given you a hope for something which seems to be very unrealistic. So that means Saturn will definitely do a proper audit over here, like which all friends you actually need in your life, which all needs to be cut out from your circle, or same is the case with tapering down your ambitions. What is very realistic, what is very much accessible. So Saturn is going to be doing a proper audit over here in your 11th house, because friends, I can assure you, if there is something which is good for you, which is meant for you, and it is within your capabilities. So because Saturn in your case, friends, it's your 9th lord as well. So that means there is nothing which Saturn cannot grant you in this transit. All what matters is that, are you aligned with your destiny, with your life path, or you are just going astray? So doing that will become very important, and Saturn will ensure to do it during this transit when it is going to be in the Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra in your 11th house. So friends, again, if I were to summarize, the theme for you is karmic audit of friendship and ambitions. Old alliances might dissolve. Real supporters will remain in your life, and there is going to be that long-term goals might slow down, but they will solidify on a foundation level. So this is going to be a transit where you will see a quality over quantity in your network circle. Now friends, moving ahead, now when we talk about the Gemini natives, so friends, for the Gemini natives, as you can see that Saturn has got a rulership over your 8th house and your 9th house, and it is right now transiting in your 10th house. So one thing is for sure friends, that the friction at your career front is going to be getting much deeper now. But again friends, I always say, when it comes down to extracting results from the planet Saturn, like counseling is very important, because sometimes we undermine the potential of the kind of gifts which we can get from the planet Saturn. What you might be seeing right now as a work pressure, this is shaping up your personality. I couldn't tell you friends like how much I regret that like when I was pursuing my courses of astrology and all, had I invested more time, had I done some more courses, had I like gotten a guru who would have actually given me some more sutras. So I mean to say, this is a kind of a transit where more than expecting a relief, expect like right guidance, platform, opportunities, so that you can prove your mettle. So with this depth and purity in the Saturnian energy, the friction at your work will get much deeper. I always say, when Saturn is transiting from your 10th house, from your 6th house, don't expect a attaboy or a pat on your shoulder. Expect more work, more pressure, so that it can redefine, reshape your personality, or you can prove yourself. So friends, if I were to talk about the general theme of this transition of Saturn in the Uttara Bhadrapada in your 10th house, it has got more to do with the career karma and the public accountability. So that means heavy responsibilities at work. Authority figures will test your integrity during this time. So again friends, like those people who are in a line of work where cutting corners, accepting bribe is a natural part of your line of work, so you have to be very careful. Like when Saturn is transiting from the 12th house, from the 6th house, from the 10th house, like people who get entangled into investigation or any departmental inquiry, it happens that time. So that means do your job with complete accountability, integrity, because authority figures, your bosses, have their eyes on you and your integrity will be tested. Along with that friends, this is going to be a time when the reputation crystallizes. That means either for good or for bad. All what I can say for the Gemini Lagna native is that no shortcuts for now friends. And also because when we talk about the Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra, it has got that energy of it is a Dhruva Nakshatra. There is a lot of the stability attached over here. There is a lot of the wisdom and the guidance attached here. So let's say for example, if during this time you are thinking about like laying foundation to a new branch, to a new line of business, or you are in dire need of some career counseling, career guidance, or you are in a dasha which is promising some sort of transition in your career, which will entail its own set of attached responsibilities and all, so that can be considered. So as long as you have that expertise in your line of work, good intentions, proper integrity, Saturn will support you for sure. So okay friends, now moving ahead. Now when we talk about the Cancer Lagna natives. So friends, for the Cancer Lagna natives, Saturn becomes your 7th lord, it becomes your 8th lord, and now it is going to be diving into its purest essence in your 9th house. So friends, one thing is for sure, that whether Saturn is a good planet for you or not, its transition from the Purva Bhadrapada to the Uttara Bhadrapada is somehow beneficial for you. Again, when we talk about the 9th house, most of the planets give good results from over there. Along with that, because your zodiac sign in itself represents the watery qualities, and the Devata connected with the Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra is in itself is a cosmic serpent. Serpent of the ocean, deep ocean. So somehow there is a kind of a synchronicity which I am seeing over here. But yes friends, during this time, for any of the commercial attributes, during this time you have to work hard, you have to prove your mettle during this time. And also a lot of the times it has been seen, the general underlying theme of Saturn being in the Uttara Bhadrapada in the 9th house has more to do with the belief system collapse and reconstruction of that. That means your faith might get tested during this time. There could be those circumstances and situations where there might be a distance from the mentors or the institutions, and the foreign travels might slow down, but it will transform your worldview. So let's say for example, if you are very fascinated with the long distance travels and all, and suddenly you will see a dip in your travels, which might happen during this time. And also because 9th house somehow defines our faith, our overall view of the world, our belief system. So this transition has this capacity that it can transform your worldview. And again friends, because in your case Saturn is your 7th lord as well, so that means a partner and the partner's advice will play a very significant role during this time. So whatever you will get as a advice from the guru, from your partner, from your spouse, there's going to be a lot of the far-sighted vision which is going to be attached over there. And yes, all what I can say as a moral, as a lesson for you is truth will replace the belief in this year because of the planet Saturn. Now friends, when we talk about the Leo zodiac sign natives, so friends, in your case, Saturn has got a rulership over your 6th house, your 7th house, and now it is going to be transitioning in the Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra in your 8th house. So friends, there is somehow a similarity because like 8th house is somehow connected with that watery kind of energy, and the Devata which is connected with the Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra, that is the Ahir, which is a serpent of the deep cosmic ocean. So there's a synchronicity over there. Along with that friends, I can assure you that this year, whatever in 2025 you have experienced when Saturn was in the Pur Bhadrapada Nakshatra, so I would say that it is going to be much more calming and stabilizing year for you, especially purely coming in from the planet Saturn. Because a lot of the times when we talk about the Rahu energy, when we talk about the Pur Bhadrapada energy, see, Pur Bhadrapada is the energy of the chaos, it's the energy of the rebellion. So I mean to say, a lot of the times what happens, Saturn is never trying to torture us, torment us or punish us. It is just trying to exhaust, burn our own karmas and give us a deep like life learning. You know why Saturn does not respond very well in the Martian signs? Because Saturn takes its own time to shape up your character, your personality. Once you are ready, you have faced the hardship of the life, you have understood the importance of that opportunity, you are ready, you are capable, then Saturn grants you that. So the problem with the Martian people is that they are always impulsive, they are always impatient. So from the context of the Leo natives, the thing which I am trying to say that even if there have been some misunderstanding, confusion, wrong decision, wrong judgment in the matters of your job, 6th house, Saturn rules it, or even in the matters of the business, 7th house, Saturn rules it. So at least during this time, you will get a chance to see it clearly that where you were lacking, and you will learn from your mistakes. See friends, when we talk about Uttara Bhadrapada, it has got very wise qualities to show us path, give us wisdom, guidance, instruction. So that is what will happen in your case. So if I were to say, the theme for the Leo Lagna native is that, or Leo moon sign people is, there is going to be emotional debts, inheritance and psychological depth. So there is going to be a possibility of financial restructuring, karmic endings in the intimacy, and like generally we say like therapy and the shadow work will be favored, and what you avoid emotionally will surface. So much better, rather than trying to put all your problems under the rug, much better face it. Because friends, in your case, even Ketu is transiting in your 1st house, right? So nature, cosmos, omens are ready to help you. The way we say, first step is something which you have to take by yourself. Now friends, when we talk about the Virgo Lagna natives or the Virgo moon sign natives. So friends, in your case, Saturn is a very important planet for you. Saturn is your 5th lord and your 6th lord, and it has been transiting in your 7th house. But major portion of 2025 it was in the Pur Bhadrapada, but now it will enter in the Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra. So friends, you know that with Uttara Bhadrapada there is a very dhruva, sthir, stabilizing kind of qualities which is attached with the Uttara Nakshatra. So that means in your line of work, in your business, this is going to be a time for many Virgo Lagna natives where Virgo natives will get stabilized in their line of work, in their profession, in their business. Some major investments, those steps which will bring long-term stability in your business is going to be possible with this movement of Saturn in the Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra in your 7th house. And again friends, whether you are a student, whether you are like in a job, or anything to do with the any ongoing lawsuit related issue and all. So this is going to be the time of clarity for you. Justice will be served. Now when I say justice, this could be for any conflict, or this could be for all of your hard work, all of your struggle as well. So friends, the theme for the Virgo native is about marriage and relationship karma. That means this is going to be the time when strong bonds will mature, but through responsibility, and the weak bonding will break. So this could be a case that like a lot of the times it happens where even in the business, those partners who do not share the same long-term distant vision which you have, so those people get cut off from you, and those who have that same vision the way you have, a strong bond, they stick, they stay. So that is going to happen. So because when Saturn is in the Uttara Bhadrapada in the 7th house, commitment becomes heavy. So only those people who have that capacity, who resonate on the same level the way you are, only those people will stay. So yes friends, all what I can say is that for the Virgo natives, this is going to be the time when the relationship will turn karmic, not romantic. Now friends, when we talk about the Libra natives, so see, for the Libra natives, Saturn is a yogakaraka planet for you friends, and Saturn having a rulership over the 4th house, 5th house, it has been transiting in the 6th house. In the major portion of the 2025, when Saturn was in the Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra, I'm sure it would have created a lot of misunderstanding, office politics, a lot of those dark truth, betrayal you would have faced in the matters of your work, in the matters of your 6th house. And we say that all the adjustments which we do in our daily life, that happens because of the 6th house. This could be a case that you all are a part of the team, you did your job in an efficient way, but just because there is a loophole, there is a weak link in your team, and because of the mistakes done by that person, the burden has to be shared by everyone. So I mean to say, a lot of the things were not perfectly aligned for the Libra Lagna natives, but now just because Saturn will transit in its own nakshatra, Uttara Bhadrapada, this is going to be the time of stability. And for all those people, especially who are in a job, who are a strong contender for seniority, promotion, career advancement, this is going to be the time for that. It is a very defining transit of the planet Saturn. So friends, all what I can say is that the theme of this transit of Saturn has to do with the health, work routine and service karma. That means chronic issues in the matters of the health will demand discipline. Workload could increase, but at least the politics will decrease. Workload might increase, but the politics will decline, which you might have been dealing with. And it will demand, like there is going to be a need for the lifestyle restructuring. When Saturn will be in the Uttara Bhadrapada, during that time, your body will become your teacher. Now friends, when we talk about the Scorpio Lagna natives. So friends, for the Scorpio Lagna natives, Saturn has got a rulership over your 3rd house, your 4th house, and it has been transiting in your 5th house, in the major portion of the 2025 in the Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra. All the spark, motivation, intention generally comes from the nakshatra. So now when Saturn will transition into its own nakshatra, Uttara Bhadrapada, there is going to be a lot of the depth which you will experience in the matters of your thought process. Because see friends, when we talk about 5th house, which has to do with our mind, the functioning of our mind, our judgment, our thought process, when you have like Rahu in the 4th, Saturn in the 5th, and that too in the Uttara Bhadrapada, this is a typical rebellion kind of energy. So now it's going to be much more stable, and whatever Saturn being in the Uttara Bhadrapada, the kind of situation it would have invoked in the 2025, in the 2026 you will see the lesson and the wisdom which will come out of it. See, all the Uttara Nakshatra are being called as the latter lucky. So that means this is going to be the time all those ideas on which you have been working, they will fructify during this time. Whether you are a student, you are connected with stock market, speculation and all, you are in a major crossroad of your career, because all the career transition are generally seen from the 5th house. You work as a counselor, as a strategist, so it's going to be a very very good time. Especially the kind of advice which you will give during this time, it will bring a lot of the appreciation. Like people will be able to see through the wisdom which you have in your vision. So regarding that, it's a good transit of Saturn in the Uttara Bhadrapada. So friends, the generalized theme for you is creativity, children and love karma. That means romance could become serious in certain cases if it is not it is not getting aligned with your life path. It might end as well. Children will demand responsibility. Creative projects will need patience. And all what I can say is that pleasure must earn its place. Now friends, when we talk about the Sagittarius Lagna natives, so friends, for the Sagittarius natives, Saturn has got a rulership over your 2nd house, your 3rd house, and it is now transiting, Saturn being a lord of the 2nd and the 3rd. Major portion of 2025, it was in the Purva Bhadrapada, but now on January 19th, it will transit in its own Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra. So that means friends, for all those people in whose case you have any political aspiration, anything connected with the land, real estate, agriculture, farming, this is going to be a very good time for you. Like all those people who are like trying to construct or invest for their long-term stability or security. See, the definition of security and stability varies from individual to individual. But one thing is for sure, for the Sagittarius Lagna, this is going to be a year which will give you groundedness, security and stability in the life. And it will majorly come in from the planet Saturn. Also friends, because in your case, Saturn is your 2nd and the 3rd lord as well. So it also tells about that this year you will be able to make some good investments with your money as well in the assets and all. So for the assets, amassing assets and all, it is a very good transit of Saturn in the Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra. So friends, if I were to summarize, this transition of the Saturn in the Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra, which is a Dhruva, which is a Sthira Nakshatra, stability giving Nakshatra, has more to do with the home, family and the ancestral karma. That means for certain people, this could be a time where you will experience emotional heaviness at the home. So that means, but again friends, see, the difference is that when we talk about Saturn being in the Uttara Bhadrapada and comparing it with the Purva Bhadrapada, so it tells about that whatever chaos you would have been experiencing when Saturn was in the Purva Bhadrapada, at least it is going to be a clarity over there. But yes, because see, the thing is, sometimes when you have too much of the wisdom, too much of the vision, or you are the eldest one in the family, the responsibility of the whole family is on your shoulder, you are the sole breadwinner, so then that means it can also bring a lot of the pressure of the responsibility as well. So during this time, the family burden could increase. There is going to be emotional heaviness because a lot will be expected out of you. So, and for certain people who are already amidst any property related issue, ancestral property dispute related issue, so this is going to be the time which will give you a clarity over there. For certain people, many people will also consider, let's say for example, if things are becoming very toxic or suffocating at your home front, many people will be open towards relocation as well. So yes, this is where and this is how Saturn is going to be working. Friends, be assured of this fact that whatever Saturn is going to be doing in your home, in your family, it is something which is giving you a long-term solution. Whatever is happening, the cosmos is doing it for the long-term vision, long-term harmony and stability in mind for you. So all what I can say, friends, heal the roots to stabilize your destiny. See friends, if you are a Sagittarius ascendant, from a tangible point of view, this could be a good transit. But if you are a Sagittarius moon, then we say that the fourth house transit from the moon of the Saturn, like fourth transit of the Saturn from the moon, it brings lot of the burden of the family responsibilities, emotional heaviness. So yes, all what I can say is that, friends, meditation, like Shivlingam, Jala Abhishekam, like offering water on the Shivlingam, offering and participating in the Shiva Rudra Abhishekam, all of that needs to be done, because yes, it can bring, especially for the Sagittarius moon people, it can bring emotional heaviness. So be very mindful of that. See, a lot is dependent on what kind of dashas you are currently going through. If you are also going through a dasha where Saturn is active in the dasha as well, so then this could be a time of some pressure in the family. Now friends, when we talk about the Capricorn, Lagna or moon sign natives, so friends, like Saturn becomes your ascendant lord or the moon sign lord. That means Saturn's transition is going to have a very strong impact in your life. Now friends, Saturn's transit from the third house is considered as very good. Like in 2025, in the major portion, when Saturn was in the Uttara Bhadrapada, it is slightly a chaotic kind of energy for the planet Saturn. But now it's going to be much stable, which is giving indication that the opportunities which will come to you when Saturn is going to be in the Uttara Bhadrapada, it is going to have very long-term impact, like which will sustain you, which will nurture you for a long span of time, with a long-term vision in the process. Also, any collaborative opportunities which will come, that is going to have some long-term benefits attached. Along with that, whether you are a creator, you are an influencer, you are a tutor, you are a coach, you are an advisor, so it's going to be a very good transit of Saturn transitioning into the Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra. And again friends, from the Purva to the Uttara Bhadrapada, there is a very stabilizing Dhruva, very sthir kind of energy which is attached with the Uttara Nakshatra, the Uttara sequence of Nakshatra. So that means be assured and be welcoming to whatsoever opportunities which will come to you during this time. I mean to say, something which might look very small on surface might have the potential to turn into or snowball into something big, much more lucrative. So that is what I'm trying to tell you. Along with that friends, so in summary, the theme for the Capricorn native is about speech, mindset and the communication karma. That means this is going to be the time when you will engage into some serious conversation with people with your vision, with your career, with your life path in mind. All what I can say for the Capricorn native is that mental discipline will be required. For certain people, like for example, if you are in a writing, in a authorship kind of role, you are a spokesperson of a brand, of a company, of a political party. So if you are a spokesperson, so like you will be put forth in such a situation or might be put on a spot where every word uttered by you will be scrutinized, will be audited. So that means your writing, your spoken word, your teaching is going to be under pressure. So all what I can say for the Capricorn Lagna native is that words now carry karmic weight. Be accountable, be responsible. Now friends, if you are a Aquarius moon or ascendant, so talking about the Aquarius moon natives first. So friends, just because Aquarius moon natives are in the last phase of the Sade Sati, and the way it has been like accepted and agreed by the whole astrology community that Saturn in its last phase of Sade Sati, it starts opening up the doors which it has closed in the last 5 years of the Sade Sati. So that means now after 2026, like it's in 2027 mid only when Saturn will finally move the Pisces. So that means with this transition of Saturn in the Uttara Bhadrapada for the Aquarius natives, it will have some lucrative benefits, opportunities attached to them. For the Aquarius, whether you are ascendant or a moon sign, for sure friends, second house, which talks about our family, which talks about our possession, our finances, some long-term stability, long-term investments in your house, in your family, in your future could be anticipated. And the good part is that when we talk about the good qualities of the Aquarius native is that they are very open towards the advice and the wisdom. See, all the air signs are connected with the intellectual capabilities. But when we talk about Gemini, there is a slight immaturity over there. When we talk about the Libra, with Libra as well, like they have to balance everything out. But when we talk about the Aquarius native, they could be a very devout, strong follower as well. So I mean to say, you will get good advice how to manage your life purpose, your family, your finances. So right set of people will advise you. So all what I can say for the Aquarius Lagna native is that don't hesitate in reaching out to expert if you find that you are struggling in any specific area of the life. So friends, the summary for the Aquarius native is that the generalized theme for you is, with this transition of Saturn in the Uttara Bhadrapada, it has to do with the wealth, values and the survival security. This is going to be the time of the financial consolidation, some major mega big financial career connected opportunities. It will redefine your self-worth. There is going to be slow but lasting income patterns, and the way I mentioned, stability over speculation is the mantra for you. Now friends, when we talk about the Pisces natives, so friends, for the Pisces natives, Saturn has got a rulership over your 11th house and the 12th house, and now it is already transiting in your first house, and now it will transition into its own nakshatra. Friends, the way I define Saturn in the Uttara Bhadrapada in the first house as like people who get lifetime achievement award, people who win the Nobel prizes, because they and their life is a testimony of years, like their whole life being put forth for their career, for the cause where they invested their whole life. So I mean to say friends, this is a kind of a time where we say that if you are a strong contender in any specific field, so expect some major turnaround, like in terms of opportunities, stability, finding your calling, finding your purpose. So all of that can happen. See, the way we say that when Saturn is transiting from the first house, this is going to be the karmic peak. So the karmic peak, that means karma get exhausted, and based on the seeds sown by us in the past, results come in our life. See friends, one thing is for sure that Saturn in the Uttara Bhadrapada is much more calmer than 2025, when in the major portion of the time Saturn was in the Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra. So it is not that chaotic. It is a time of shouldering responsibility, accepting your place, working hard, reaching out for the guidance, for the advice. And all what I can say is that a lot of the potential of inner restructuring, becoming mature, dissolving your old identity is possible. And yes, if Saturn is transiting over your moon or over the Lagna, this is going to be the time of the karmic peak. I say the theme of this transition of Saturn for you is the identity, rebirth and soul responsibility. This is soul graduation, but not without any test. See friends, the way we say that when Saturn is in the Uttara Bhadrapada, it does not punish randomly. It just asks one question. What are you still carrying that your soul has already outgrown? What is weak will end. What is false will collapse. What is essential will remain. And this transit always reward discipline, emotional honesty, spiritual sobriety and long-term thinking. So friends, after this, let's briefly look at that based on your moon nakshatra, what we can expect. So let's say for example, if your Janam Tara, your moon nakshatra is of Ketu, like you're born in the Ashwini, Magha, Mula nakshatra, then that means Saturn is going to be now transitioning in the Mitra Tara, which means a very good transit for you. where you can expect some opportunities, and even your bosses, authority figures will treat you like a good friend, and you will have access to opportunity. See, for all the these three Ketu ruled nakshatra which falls in the fire sign. So I'm sure that for the Ashwini natives, Saturn is already there in the 12th house. For the Magha natives, Saturn is transiting in the 8th house. For the Mula natives, it is in the 4th house. But again, you will see that wheresoever you are struggling right now, there is going to be help which is accessible. Now friends, for the Venus ruled moon nakshatra, if your moon nakshatra is Bharni, Purva Falguni or the Purva Shadha, that means Saturn is transiting in the Navtara Tara, which talks about the poverty. So my advice to all the Venus ruled moon nakshatra people is that do charities, friends, do donation, because yes, otherwise it could create concern, it could create problem of where you will be working hard and not getting remunerated accordingly in equal measure. For those who have their moon nakshatra of sun, that means your moon nakshatra is Kritika, Uttara Falguni or the Uttara Ashadha. So friends, it's a good time because Saturn is now transiting in the Sadhana Tara. So that means this is going to be the time of attainment. If you are in the Saturn Dasha and Saturn is like you are in a Saturn Dasha and your chart has got combination like good Raj Yoga, attainment of power, and you are also in that stage where any important decision on your career, on your promotion has to be taken. So circumstances and stars will support you. Now friends, those who have their moon nakshatra being of Rohini, Hasta or the Shravan, so Saturn is transiting in the Paryatak Tara now, which represents obstacles. So yes, all these nakshatra, moon ruled nakshatra people have to be very mature, have to be very practical, because with the Rohini, they are very stable because all the three nakshatra falls in the earth zodiac sign like Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. But even after that, just don't get swayed away by the initial resistance being put forth by people. That's all what I can say. And yes, doing the Saturnian remedies during this time will become very important, especially for the Rohini people, like it is happening in your 11th house. Any blockages in your wish fulfillment. For the Hasta people, like it is going to be happening in your 7th house. That means in the business, obstacle in the business. For the Shravan people in the 3rd house. So that means doing the donations, charities, for the planet Saturn will be very therapeutic for you during this time. Friends, for those who have their moon being in the Mars's nakshatra, Mrigshira, Chitra, Dhanishta, that means Saturn is now transiting in the Shema Tara, happiness giving. So a good news for all the Mars ruled nakshatra, Saturn will open many doors, many opportunities. It will cleanse all the difficulties coming in from the past, or at least in 2025 when Saturn was in the Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra. Friends, for the Rahu ruled nakshatra, Adra, Swati, Sadbhisha, and friends, especially for the Adra, Saturn is going to be transiting in the Vanashik nakshatra for you. If your moon nakshatra is Adra, Uttara Bhadrapada happened to be the 22nd nakshatra. That means friends, all the Rahu ruled nakshatra people have to spirituality is the answer for you. This could be fasting on Saturday, doing charities, donation on Saturday will become very important. Otherwise, it can create some sort of obstacle. Like for example, for the Sadbhisha natives, it is happening, Saturn is transitioning in your 2nd house. For the Swati people, it's in the 6th house. So that means you have to be very careful. Otherwise, there is going to be conflicting interest, which could create impediments in your growth, in your career and all, in your finances and all. Friends, for people who have their moon nakshatra of the planet Jupiter, like Punarvasu, Vishakha, Purva Bhadrapada, Saturn is going to be transiting in the Sampat Tara. That means financial gain, opportunities, and at least when Saturn is in the Uttara Bhadrapada, it has got more to do with right advice. Counseling will guide you how to manage your finances, how to invest your money, and how to open your doors for more opportunities. For those who have their moon being in the Saturn ruled nakshatra in itself, Saturn is transiting in the Janam Tara. transit of the planet in the Janam Tara is generally considered as like mediocre. So result will come based on what kind of dasha you are currently running and what kind of theme it has created for you. But overall, friends, the way we say that it is not going to be any like obstacle causing for you, because even for the all the like the water signs, like for the Pushya people, like Saturn is transiting in your 9th house. For the Anuradha natives, like Saturn is transiting in your 5th house. So that means this transit of Saturn based on your Janam Tara, you will get very like this is a time when you will feel that life is making you very mature, and you will think on long-term vision, long-term investment point of view rather than short-term gratification. And lastly, friends, for all the moon nakshatra of the Mercury, if your moon is in the Shlesha, Jyeshtha, Revati, Saturn is transiting in the Param Mitra Tara. So that means opportunities and people in authority will somehow work or think as per your liking. Like, or I would say that because for the Shlesha, like Saturn somehow transit in the 9th house. That means right advice. For the Jyeshtha, again for the Jyeshtha people, that is the Scorpio energy. Saturn transiting in the 5th house. So your the thoughts which will come to you, the guidance which will come to you, it is going to be very well suited for you, meant for your growth, meant and aligned with your life path. So yes, friends, this is something which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs. Once again, thanks a lot for watching this video, and for further more updates and notification on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on my Instagram account. Dhanyavad.